looked down into her brown eyes and said, say a prayer for me. She threw her arms around him.
Howdy, this is Eddie with Corn-Fed Bushcraft. Today we're going to cover one of my favorite type of snares. I really don't have a name for it. After you see me put it together, if anybody happens to know the name for it, leave it in the comment section, send it to me in an email, whatever. Alright, let's get started. Alright, here's a brief rundown of the parts we need. We need some sticks, like I say, 12, maybe 14 inches long. Good knot up on the end of them. We also need a stick to run across the two of them. Another one up here, just like the first one. A little short piece that would be the trigger, or a pin, if you will. We need a long piece. This long piece here needs to be about 18 inches or so. This is what the animal steps on to set the trap off. Here in the back, we need maybe a 10-inch stick drove in the ground to hold the trigger in place. Personally, instead of using parachute cord for the snare itself, I like to use piano wire, snare wire. It's more effective, holds better. Parachute cord has a tendency to not grip the animal's neck as well, not close as tight, if you will. Alright, these sticks here, the ones with the knots on the end of them, they get drove in the ground till only about 4 inches or so is sticking out. This long piece here goes under the knots and is held up by the pin. That pin wraps around just like it's laying there and goes underneath. It wraps to the inside of the snare and holds the parachute cord's actually what holds that in place. This, the trigger, is wedged up against it right in there and holds the pin still. The butt of the trigger is wedged up against this back block here. Alright, let's get this set up and I'll be right back with you. Alright, as you can see, this is what the trap looks like complete. It's about a 6 or 7 foot tall pine sapling, bent over. Make sure you find you something that's flexible with a little bit of spring to it. Has a square knot tied in the top of it. This square knot runs down to the trap, which is down here underneath it, which consists of the parts I mentioned earlier in the video. One sapling runs across, the two that have the Y in them, and then you have the pin, if you will, which is right here, that holds this whole thing in place. Off of that pin, it runs up, ties to the sapling, and to your noose. The stick here that runs through the middle, the trigger, if you will, is what activates the whole thing. An animal comes in, stumbling around, tries to get him a bite to eat, bumps that pin, next thing he knows, he's hanging in a tree. This trap usually does not kill animals unless it hooks them around the neck, but for the most part, they're usually alive when you come get them. The line that runs up is just 550 paracord, as we mentioned earlier. Overall, it's a pretty good trap. Like I said, I don't know what it's called. I just know it's pretty effective. Alright, now we're going to give a little brief demonstration of how this works, and we'll see what it does. Alright, now we're going to use this here 2-liter soda bottle as a brief demonstration. We're going to see how effective this trap really is. Alright, your animal's in here rooting around. Bumps that. Alright, first off, let me say I'm sorry for it being so late. I know it gets kind of hard to see. Time kind of got away with me, if you will. But this has been another episode, Corn-Fed Bushcraft. And like I say, if you happen to know the name of this snare, leave it to me in a comment or send it to me in an email. I'd really be interested in knowing. So until next time.